That is a super soft malai kofta, isn't it? Hey foodies, welcome to Cooking Shooking. In this video, we are going to make malai kofta in restaurant style. As you can see, this malai kofta is super soft and looks delicious, isn't it? Let's make it in the authentic restaurant style in a yellow gravy, which is mildly sweet, super rich and very flavorful. So let's begin the recipe. Let's begin the recipe, guys. First we are going to make the base for the yellow gravy. Here I have a saucepan. In this I am adding 2 tablespoons of khaskhas or poppy seeds. This is also known as posad, guys. I am also going to add about 2 tablespoons of magaj. Magaj is also known as melon seeds or watermelon seeds. Next I am going to add 20 cashew nuts. Here we are basically making a paste out of the nuts. So before that we have to boil it. Here I am taking 500 ml of water. We are going to heat this up in high flame. Once this gets a boil, we are going to lower the flame to medium and then continuously boil it for about 5 to 8 minutes. If you feel that the water quantity is getting lesser, you can add some more water to it and then continue boiling. So while these nuts are boiling, you can also prepare the onions and the tomatoes. Here I have taken 3 onions which are roughly cut like this. I have also chopped 2 tomatoes roughly like this. So right now it's been about 6 minutes or so and this looks good. I'm going to turn off the flame and keep this aside for about 10 minutes or so. We are not going to waste any time. You can see I have prepared most of the things. Here I have some salt, some powders, basically some masalas, some coriander, ginger garlic paste. Basically you can see the list of ingredients. Prepare everything and then heat up a kadhai in high flame. In this hot kadhai, I am going to add some oil. Here I am taking about 3 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil is warm, we don't want to heat up the oil too much. I am going to add 2 cardamoms, 2 cloves, basically 2 ilaichi or 2 long. Along with that, I am also going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I am using whole black pepper right now, and I am also going to add 1 tej patta or bay leaf. Just cook this for about a few seconds. After that we are going to add the onion that we chopped. We have to cook the onions really well, guys, for a good amount of time, and the quantity is also very high. So what we are going to do is add some salt. The salt will help us. I am taking about 1 teaspoon right now. We are going to add it in, mix it up really well, and we are going to cook it until it is pink. It will take about 5 to 8 minutes. So while the onion is cooking, you can see our magaj, posat and kaju, basically our nuts have cooled down a little bit and settled down as well. So I'm going to get rid of the top water and then we are going to make a paste out of the nuts. So all the extra water is out, guys. I am adding this to a grinder jar. Please don't do this mistake of adding this to a small jar like this. I'm going to change the jar, guys, so be careful. I'm using some ice cubes and some water. We have to make a very fine paste out of this. See the consistency, our paste is ready, and you can see the onion as well. It is pink right now with all the cooking that is happening. Now I'm going to add the ginger garlic paste, about 1 teaspoon or so, and then we are going to cook it together for about a minute. We just want to get rid of that ginger garlicky flavor. I mean, we don't need that raw flavor in this recipe. This looks good for now. We are going to add the spices to it to bonify them, basically to bring the character in the recipe by roasting it. Here I am taking 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of garam masala, which is a blend of all the Indian spices. Here I am also taking 2 green chilies which are roughly chopped, basically like you can just dice them into any size that you like. I am also adding some coriander leaves for some freshness and a little bit of haldi powder for that yellow color. Now we are going to cook them together. We are going to roast the spices for about a minute or so in low flame. After that we can add the cashew nut paste. There was a lot of stuck masala in the kadhai, so this cashew nut paste will deglaze everything. So keep mixing it generously like this for about a minute or 2. And we don't want to waste anything, guys, so get everything out from that jar. If required, you can add some drinking water to it and then get everything out. Now I'm going to cook this again for about a minute or 2. You can see how this cashew nut paste and the onions have started to thicken up a little bit. Now it's the perfect time to add the tomatoes. These are roughly chopped tomatoes guys, 2 of them is what I'm using right now. Now the step is to cook the tomatoes until they are really well cooked. This step will take you about 10 to 15 minutes. Basically we want to cook until the tomatoes are completely mushy. You can see how this looks pure thick, in the sense this has thickened up a lot. The sides have also started to leave. Now this looks cooked. I have turned off the flame. I'm going to keep it aside to cool down a little bit. So while that cools down, we are not going to waste the time. We are going to make the koftas. Here I have a kneading plate. You can also use a bowl, a mixing bowl right now. In that we are going to add the paneer. Here I am taking 130 grams of paneer. You can also use 100 grams of paneer if you want to. This is 130 grams of paneer. I am going to mash it like we do for rasgullas. What do I mean by that? You can also use chena in this recipe. We want to reduce the particle size guys. We want to ensure when we eat the kofta, we want to have that melt in mouth feel. For that you have to mash it a little bit. After that we are going to add the aloo into it. Here I am taking 3 medium sized boiled and peeled aloo. Now I am going to mash it together, mix it together with the paneer. This step is tedious for sure, but then the texture that you will get from this step is amazing guys. Take your time with it, blend it together like this with your hands. After that we are going to add the condensed milk into it. If you don't have condensed milk in your home right now, you can also use some malai or even some mawa into the recipe. If you are using malai or mawa, then you have to add about half a teaspoon of sugar into the recipe right now. I have taken 2 tablespoons of condensed milk. Along with this I am also going to add some salt, some cardamom powder, kasuri methi for that buttery taste, and a little bit of fresh coriander. These are all the ingredients that are required for the kofta guys. We are not going to add any bread, some maida or anything like that. Just mix it together briefly. Ensure all the masalas are well spread. After that we are going to divide it into smaller portions. With this recipe you will be able to make 8 to 12 medium sized koftas. If you want to make large size koftas, then you can make 4 of them. I have divided the dough into 9 portions right now. I am going to take one, smoothen it a little bit. After that we are going to make a dent in the center. We are going to fill some kishmish into it, basically some raisins into it. So you can take like 2 or 3 of them. Try to cover it a little bit and then you have to seal it completely. The kofta is ready, but if you fry it like this, then there are some chances that it might open up. We are not going to do a breadcrumb into this right now. I am just taking some corn flour. I am going to roll it into this. Our pure malai kofta is ready at home. I am just sealing the outside with some corn flour, which is negligible basically guys. Sometimes when we add some maida, some breadcrumbs and all, it gets very heavy and it's not very soft. This one will be very soft. Just make a light coating of that corn flour and then your koftas will be ready. I have made all the koftas like this. So while these are resting for like 10-15 minutes, let's finish our gravy for it. Here I am adding the gravy that we made into a mixer jar, but before that guys, try to remove that bay leaf from the recipe. Now you can add the gravy into the jar. Along with that I am also going to add some water into the kadhai, mix it up really well and then we are going to add it in. Don't waste anything guys, this recipe is very involved and very rich as well. So after you add everything to that mixer jar, cover it and then make a very smooth paste out of it. You can see our yellow base gravy is ready. Now we are going to strain it basically. If you don't strain it, then you will see some specks of tomatoes, some black pepper and all. So here I am using a medium size soup strainer. We are going to strain it. See, this is what I was talking about. There are lots of specks of tomatoes and some black pepper as well. Try to get rid of this. Similarly, I will strain the remaining gravy. Our base gravy is ready guys. Now we are going to make the final tadka in restaurant style basically. So you can also store this in a freezer for about a month or so, but I will recommend you to make it fresh and enjoy fresh. It takes a lot of time, but it's well worth it. Here I'm heating up a kadhai for the final tadka. In this kadhai I'm adding some oil. If you want to make it slightly healthy, then you can skip adding the oil right now. In the oil, before it gets hot, I'm adding some red chili powder. Right now I'm using Kashmiri red chili powder for that slight red color. Now I'm taking the strainer again and then I'm going to strain the gravy again because I like it extra silky. It just takes like 2 more minutes of your time, but then the result is well worth it. Be careful of the oil as well. I'm stirring it in between. I have strained off the gravy. We are going to give it a nice mix, guys. Make sure the chili powder is not burnt. But it looks slightly thick right now, so I'm going to add like 1 cup of water into it. Keep the flame high, stir it frequently. Our gravy for the kofta is almost done, just that if you want to richen it, you can add some mawa or some condensed milk right now and some cream as well. Here I'm taking about 2 tablespoons of condensed milk. If you don't want to use it, you can skip it, guys. Along with that, I'm also adding some cream into it, about 2 tablespoons. So in total, I have taken 2 tablespoons of condensed milk and 2 tablespoons of fresh cream. Now we are going to mix it up really well. If you are not using the condensed milk, then I will suggest you to add some sugar into it right now. The step from here is to continuously mix it like every now and then. Keep the flame high and bring this to a boil. The gravy looks silky, shiny and perfect, isn't it? After it comes to a boil, your gravy for the kofta is done. You can serve it immediately, but our kofta is not done yet, so I am heating up some oil. If you don't want to fry your koftas, then you can also bake them inside the oven at 250 degrees centigrade, or even your air fryer should work for this recipe. I will suggest you to keep the flame high. Test the oil by frying just 1 kofta at first. If it splutters, then you can add some breadcrumbs or something like that, but mine looks perfect. See, it looks amazing, isn't it? Very soft as well. I'm going to cook it like 2 more minutes inside the oil. After that, we are going to take it out and then I'm going to fry rest of the koftas. As I said, this is not spoiling the oil, isn't it? That is because the corn flour that we applied in the outside is absorbed. Once the koftas are golden, these are ready to be served. To be fair honest with you right now, these don't look very appetizing as is right now, but these are beautiful inside, guys. The softest and the succulent as well. We haven't added anything for binding, which makes it very heavy. I'm going to serve it right now and then I'm going to open it and show it to you. I agree, this is not a everyday recipe, guys. It's fat loaded. In fact, it's a royal recipe, guys, so enjoy it every once in a while. I mean once in 6 months or so, and you should be fine. See the kofta that we made, it's super soft and succulent, isn't it? You don't even need to press into it. I'm just putting the spoon and it's cutting. The gravy that we made is also super silky and flavorful. Trust me, guys, once you try this recipe, you will be eating spoonfuls of the gravy and the kofta just like it is, without any accompaniment like a bread or a paratha or a naan. Trust me, I've been there, you will be there as well. So try it out, share with me how it goes for you. See you soon in the comment section with one more delicious recipe. If you liked it, give it a like and comment down below your thoughts so that I can make my videos even more better and my recipes even more tastier. See you soon. Bye for now. Take care. Happy cooking.